So we're going to do Bobby McGee. A lot of you have been asking for it, and it's time to do a little Janice Joplin. So the first thing that we're going to go over is the chords. So let's talk about them. If you look at your chord sheet that has already been given to you, there's quite a few chords in there. And a lot of them are familiar to many of us, but some of them might not be so much. We don't use them all the time. So this is a song that's in the key of G, and then it modulates. Modulates just means changes, and it modulates up to the key of A. So we're going to start in G, and then it's going to transition to the key of A. So we already know those two chords are going to be in the song, G and A. We also have an A7, a C major, which we call C, a D, a D7, an E7, and a G7. So we're going to go over each of those chords and just as a refresher. So let's start with the A. We'll just go in alphabetical order. And an A is the first two frets, and we're going to use strings 3 and 4. So let's just remember, string 1 is at the bottom, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to use strings 3 and 4, and then we're going to use frets 1 and 2. So we're going to take our index finger and our middle finger, take our index finger and put it on string 3, box 1, fret 1, and then we'll take our middle finger and put it on string 4, fret 2. That's an A. So to make this an A7, all we have to do is lift the middle finger. So if we lift it, then we only have one finger in one position. That's string 3, fret 1. That's an A7. The next chord that we have is C, and it's fret 3, string 1. We also have a D, and it's going to require us to use 3 fingers and put them in a tight space because they all go in the same fret, and that's fret 2, box 2. And we're going to use strings 2, 3, and 4. So the top 3 strings going down. We're going to take our index finger and put it on string 4 and just follow suit. And we want to kind of just squeeze our fingers together so that they're not really hanging over in frets 1 or 3. We want them all in fret 2. So we're going to go 4, 3, 2, just like that. Squish them all together. That's a D. There's also a D7. And so a D7, we're going to use all of these strings, and then we're going to add another finger. It sounds complex, but it's really not. But instead of putting all of our fingers down like this, we're just going to take one finger and put it all over box 2. Okay, so this is called barring. So we're just going to bar, take our finger and flatten it out. You can move it to the side, you can keep it straight on. We just want to make good contact with all 4 strings all through that fret 2. So here. And then we're going to add another finger to add another note to make it the sound that we want. And I'm going to use, you can either use your middle finger or your ring finger. And I'm actually going to use my middle finger, I think. So I'm going to bar fret 2. I'm going to take my middle finger and put it on string 1, box 3. So it should look like this. Bar, and then you have one note. And if you can't make that middle finger work, use your ring finger. We just need that on that one note. So all of 2, and then that first string of box 3 is a D7. That's an awkward feeling, so you might want to practice that back and forth, a few times just so that you can make contact. If it sounds like this, you're not pressing hard enough. So you need to make good contact. Don't break your fingers. You don't have to press that hard, but you just want to make a good enough contact that it rings. Then that moves us over to E7. The traditional way to make an E7 is finger 1, string 4 in box 1 or fret 1. So we're this position here. And then we want to take 2 of our fingers, and I'm going to use 2 and 3, and we're going to kind of just move those over to fret 2, and we want strings 3 and 1. So, but there's a cheater chord to this. And that's the way that you make an E7. That's the right shape and the right sound. But if you want to cheat it, meaning an easier version of it, we're going to just use these two fingers, and we're going to put them on strings 1 and 3. And then we're not going to strum the top string because we did not put that note down. So we're going to skip this string and this note. We're just going to use our middle finger and our index finger in box 2, strings 1 and 3. And then we're not going to strum string 4. So start on string 3 and go down. That's an E7 sound. If we do it the traditional way, oops. If we do it the cheater way, so you have to figure out your body and really what works best for you. Then we have a G and a G7, which is kind of a backwards G. Your index finger goes here, and then we kind of work our fingers around on strings 1 and 3. So that's a G7, and a traditional G is backwards of a G7. We're going to use our index and our middle fingers on 1 and 3, and then we take our ring finger and come up and bring string 2 off the next fret. So just watch those diagrams, practice those. The more comfortable you can make your chords, and then you want to try changing back and forth between some of the chords. That's a really good skill to do for any song that you're learning, but especially whenever the song has as many chords as this has, which is a lot of majors and a lot of 7s. So you are changing your hand a little bit more than we would normally do in another song. So just practice, practice, practice. It always makes better. So the rhythm, what's the right hand going to do? Once we master all the chords on the left hand, this is really what gives the feel of the song. So there's a couple rhythm patterns that we can do. We can do a very simple rhythm pattern, which is just quarter notes. Everything is down on the beat. So I'm going to just pick a G chord, and I'll give you the feel for that. So I'll sing just maybe the first line of the song. Busted flat in Baton Rouge, headed for a train. So every beat gets a strum, and it's only in the down position. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the easiest one, and we'll work in this song no matter if you're playing with somebody who plays a fancier beat or rhythm or whatever. That quarter note rhythm for this song will work every time. So that's the standard, and that's probably the simplest rhythm. But we can also add complexities to our rhythm too. So if you want to go for a little bit more of a challenge, this has got a little bit more down, down, up, up, down, ups, and that in there. So bear with me. We'll get through it. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to go down, 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 up, up, down, up. Okay, that was a lot. Let's try it again. Down, 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 up, up, down, up. Let's try it again. Down, 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 up, up, down, up, down, 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 up, up, down, up, down, 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 up, up, down, up, down. Now the thing about that is whenever you hear down, up, down, people start trying to think directional. And that's really not what we want to do here. We want to use our hearing, we want to use our ear, and we want to listen to what the sound of that rhythm is. Ba, 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 ba. That's the most important thing. Whether you're up or you're down or you're not, that's not really the most important. It's more of the feel. So if you get caught up in going, she went down, she went up, she went down, you're never going to get the feel of the rhythm. So I would do it like this. Listen to the directions, but you really want to listen to the sound of the rhythm. So I'm going to give you directions first, then I'm going to play it without saying down, 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 up, up, down, up, okay? So that you can feel it and you can hear it. That's what we're going for, okay? So here we go. Down, 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 up, down, up, down. like anything. Practice it. Practice makes better. Intros and outros, beginning and endings. Every song has one. So this one is interesting because the intro and the outro are in different keys because they modulate from the G, key of G at the beginning of the song to the ending key of A on the out of the song. So let's start with the intro. You have a G, G and C. That's your intro. So we're going to do 2 strong strums downward on the G. Then on the C, we're going to do the island strum, which is down, up, up, down, up. So let's do that a couple times. Down, up, up, down, up. Down, up, down, up. Now let's put them together. So our G, down, down, C. Down, up, down, up, G, G. Down, up, down, up, G, G. Down, up, down, up. You practice that, you've got the intro down. Now let's talk about the outro. We've got to move to a different key, which is A, the key of A. And it's a little bit more complicated than the simple intro that we just went over. And the outro matches the very last chorus. And the chorus is the fast part of the song at the end. It goes to a double time. So everything speeds up just a little bit. And their verse goes like this. Lord, I called him my lover. I called him my man. I called him my lover. Did the best that I can. It's that portion of the song that we're talking about. But the outro doesn't have words. They just replay that whole section without any words, just instrumentally. So there's a couple things that you can do. You can learn it, or you can, well, we want you to learn it. We're learning it right now. But you can either go back and practice it exactly the way they could do it, or if you can't remember how the melody line goes once you don't see the words in front of you, just go back to that section that has the words and kind of sing that part to yourself. Don't sing it out loud, but sing it quietly to yourself, and that'll help you follow the meter of the outro. So the outro follows the exact same pattern as the last chorus. So what does that mean? Well, there's a lot of A's and there's a lot of E7s pretty much through the whole thing. So we'll do it with the verse, with the chorus, and then we'll go back and do it instrumentally so that you can hear. They're basically the same pattern, just one has words and one doesn't. Lord, I call him my lover, I call him my man, I call him my lover, I did the best that I can, I said, hey, oh, hey, Bobby, man. And then that changes to the E7 from the A there. So you make your E7, yeah. Lordy, 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 Lordy. Hey, 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 Bobby, make it back to A. So that's the last chorus. Now we have the outro, which is that same thing, the same thing we did without the words. And it goes like this. That's the outro. It's just a lot of strumming. So practice, practice. It always makes better.